welcome, greetings, salutations. So glad you're here. You guys, today I'm so jazzed. It's gonna be one of the best kinds of what I eat in a day. You wanna know why? You already know why. That's why you clicked on this video. We're making recipes out of Pamela Anderson's cookbook, and in case you didn't know, Pamela Anderson is vegan, has been for a long time, and her latest, and I think only cookbook, is also totally vegan. And we're gonna be making recipes from it all day long. So let's start off with some breakfast. Y'all, I'm quite hungry and I'm quite excited to make her rice porridge with caramelized fruit. I mean, look how absolutely beautiful this looks. Like every photo in this book is just like, oh, I want to live in this book. It looks really easy to make. You don't need very many ingredients. It's obviously a rice-based porridge, which is something that I'm not really used to eating in this manner for breakfast, but I'm excited to have my mind changed on that, and I think it's gonna be pretty good. And I'm gonna be caramelizing some plantains because I'm a bit obsessed with plantains right now. I'm having a moment with them, and yeah, she suggests bananas or figs, but whatevs, plantains it is. Let's head over to the stove. Righto, so step number one is to add a little pat of vegan butter or margarine into a small little saucepan and melt it. We're gonna add in half a cup of water and bring it to a boil. Now we're gonna add in half a cup of arborio rice. Give it a stir, and we are going to pretty much let this boil out. Basically let all the water evaporate, and then we're gonna add in our plant milk. This will probably take about 5 minutes or so. That took way less time than I thought. Okay, it's been like 1 minute. Okay, maybe 2. That water is gone. So now we're gonna add in 2 cups of plant milk. I'm gonna use soy milk because that's just what I have and what I like. And then we add a 1/4 teaspoon of fine salt. I'm just using pink Himalayan. Well, I have some time to kill while our porridge cooks on the stove for approximately 40 minutes, but that's okay. We have some fruit to prepare. Like I mentioned, I'm gonna be frying up, or I guess caramelizing, a plantain. So we're just going to pretty much peel this like a banana, and we're gonna cut it on a diagonal in like 1/4 inch-ish thick slices, maybe a little bit thicker. And then once we're done with that, we're gonna take them back over to the stove. Okay, now grab yourself a nice little frying pan, and we're gonna take 2 tablespoons of vegan butter and just add it to the pan and let it melt. Sizzle, baby, sizzle. Okay, we now have 2 tablespoons of coconut sugar and half a teaspoon, or I think a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. Give that all a quick little whisk. We're gonna add these beautiful plantains into the butter. Now let's just sprinkle some of that cinnamon sugar over everything. Let them cook for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side, flip and repeat. In the meantime, let's just check out our rice porridge. It is looking thick and creamy. It's been about just over 30 minutes. Yum! Y'all, there's like so much caramel in the pan right now. Oh, I think these are done. Okay, people, expectation versus reality. How do we do? How did we do? I think I did a pretty bang up job, if you ask me. A pinch of flaky sea salt is how she recommends eating it, so a pinch of flaky sea salt we shall do. This smells dynamite-licious. Smell? On point. You really can't beat caramelized fruit, and I know I'm already a fan of caramelized plantains, so I already know that at least that is gonna be good. The porridgey rice, I'm not sure yet. We're about to find out. Okay, I just want to taste a little bit of the porridge on its own. Overall, I'd give this like a solid 7 out of 10. It's very good. I would say I would have added a little bit more flavorings to the rice porridge if I had been in control of this recipe, like some vanilla, maybe a little bit of cinnamon. I feel like that would have been like, mwah. Just needs a little bit more flavor. The texture of the rice though is so nice. I do love the texture of arborio rice. It's just got such a nice, it's a gotta, It's got a really good mouthfeel. It's creamy and a little bit chewy, but oh my God, the plantains absolutely take the cake. They're so sweet, so soft. Very tasty. I would say my last qualm with this recipe, whoa, I almost launched that into the sky, is that there's really no protein in this breakfast, and I personally really like to have protein every time I eat breakfast because it gives me more energy. And I know that this isn't gonna keep me full for more than like an hour or two. So next time I make this, which I definitely think I will, I think I'm gonna add some protein powder into the rice porridge mixture and maybe some things like hemp hearts on top, just for a little bit of variety in textures and add a little extra protein and healthy fat. Other than that, it's yum. I'll see you back here at lunch. And that is a recipe you don't want to miss. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there while I was running in my kitchen. Thanks for joining me for lunch, guys. Today, the lunch recipe we're making from Pamela Anderson's cookbook is what's called a West Coast tartine. I don't know what a tartine is. I don't think I've ever heard that word before, but I am intrigued. From what I gather from the fine photo in the book, is that it's a very bougie looking avocado toast. That's basically what it is. Is it gonna fill me up for lunch? I think it's not, but that's okay. I'm gonna make a little something else to go with it. I'm gonna do some crispy air fried tofu, you know, for the protein. But in lieu of the Finnish seed bread that Pamela is using in this recipe, I don't actually have any bread at the moment, but I still wanted avocado toast. So I'm gonna use a good old sweet potato, as I do often when I want something toasty. I've done this so many times on the channel. Haven't done it in a while, but it's super easy. What we're gonna do is we're gonna scrub a dub, this sweet potato. We're gonna slice it into like 1/2 inch slices, and we're gonna pop it in my air fryer. Let that cook for about 20-25 minutes, and that's how you get toast if you don't have bread. Super easy, super simple, and delicious, and nutritious, and filling. Righto, so while that's all happening in the air fryer, I'm just gonna make the avocado mash as per Pamela Anderson instructs. So I need a small avocado. This one's actually frozen. Did you know that you can freeze avocados whole if you have a whole bunch of them go ripe at the same time, but you're not gonna get through them all before they go rotten on you? Yeah, so I just took one out of my freezer, just thaw it in your microwave on the thaw setting for like a minute or two, and it'll be nice and soft and still fresh and green, and it's literally like such a good hack. And I've only just started doing this, by the way. Nice and thawed out, still cold, might even be a little frozen. But let's see. Oh, it's like butter. Observe. Whoa. Oh my gosh, you guys. Doesn't look like it was frozen, does it? No. So the first step to making this, which I'm sure is gonna be very simple, is we're gonna mash up the avocado in a bowl. Okay, and then we're gonna add in 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. I'm just gonna use this. Plus a 1/4 teaspoon of some flaky sea salt. And that's it. That's all she wants you to add to her avocado mash. Very simple, very scaled back. The next ingredient we add is some nori sheets. Now, I think she's referring to like the snacky nori sheets, the one you get in like a little stack of 10 and you just snack on them. I don't have those, but I do have like sushi nori, so she says 2 sheets, so I'm just gonna rip off like a little bit. Like, probably this much is all we need. And then we just crumble them. Well, these ones are a little harder to crumble. Okay, in my case, I'm gonna like rip them into shreds and then crumble them into the avocado. And then we fold the nori into the avocado. Neato! For our very fancy topping, we're gonna add some walnuts. So we just gotta chop those up. Okay, now we're just gonna take some of that avocado nori mash, spread it on top of each piece of sweet potato, top it with a little bit of our chopped walnuts, a sprinkle of chia seeds, and a pinch of flaky sea salt. And then for some extra flavor of the ocean, we're gonna add some more pieces of our nori, break it apart, add on top. Mwah. Okay, people, expectation versus reality. All right. I am very curious to give this a try. It's very good. Like the nori, it's like I know what everything's supposed to taste like. I know what nori tastes like. I know what avocado mash tastes like, but I've never put them together before. And this is kind of giving me like very light sushi vibes. Not like, it doesn't taste just like sushi, but it's got like a little kiss, a kiss of sushi. Very like oceany, and I think that was the whole point, you know, West Coast avocado tartine. I think Pamela nailed this recipe. It's really good. Obviously, it would taste different if I had this on a crusty piece of seedy bread or something, but overall, this is really nice. A good light lunch, I'd say even great for breakfast or a snack. Yeah, I will enjoy this with my crispy tofu. See you at dinner, which will be a total banger, by the way. Heads up! Cabbage heads up. Get it? Yeah, you might be wondering, why, Janelle, do you have this really strange looking cabbage in your hand? Well, it's called a sour cabbage. This is, in fact, the first time I have ever possessed one in my entire life, but we're gonna be making some tangy probiotic cabbage rolls a la Pamela Anderson tonight for dinner, and I could not be more intimidated or excited. I've never made cabbage rolls before in my life, but I used to love eating them when I was a kid. My great grandma used to make the best cabbage rolls, and I can still smell them and taste them, and whew, I hope these are gonna be even just a little bit as good as hers, and I'll be happy. If you've never had cabbage rolls, they're basically cooked cabbage, and you stuff each cabbage leaf with like usually meat and a rice filling and some veggies, and it's kind of baked in the oven in a tomato sauce, and it's yummy. So I'm gonna be using a food processor for the first step of this recipe to do all of my veggie prep. We're gonna be shredding up a couple medium large-ish carrots, a russet potato, and a small onion. Once those are all prepped, we're gonna pretty much start making our cabbage roll filling over on the stove. Hello and welcome to Stove. So we're gonna grab a small frying pan. We're gonna get a little bit of olive oil heating up, about a tablespoon or so. And then once it's H-A-U-T-E, haute, we are going to add a tablespoon of tomato paste, plus a tablespoon of harissa. Now, I don't exactly know what she means by harissa, if she means the paste or the spices. I happen to have the spices, so we're just rolling with the spices today. Give the tomato paste and the harissa spices a little mixy, and then just add all of our grated veggies. It's like an onion bomb went off in my kitchen. Okay, so looks like my veggies have completely just swallowed my tomato paste. It's like I didn't even add any. Pam, is this how it's supposed to be? Let this cook down for like 5 minutes until it's a little bit more softened. And then we're just gonna simply stir in all the other ingredients for the filling. We've got a cup of medium grain rice. We've got some fine looking spices. We have half a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. Her recipe actually calls for thyme and oregano, which I do not have, and a teaspoon of smoked paprika. And lastly, half a cup of chopped fresh Italian parsley. That's fun. Okay, let's give this all a little mixy. Okay, people, we have moved over to another burner. This is the pan that we are going to be cooking the cabbage rolls in. First step is to make the tomato sauce that we're going to simmer the cabbage rolls in. So you know how we roll, add a little bit of olive oil. I'm clearly running out here. It's okay, guys, I got another bottle. Okay, now we're going to saute our second onion that we had there on the counter. that I chopped up while you weren't looking. And then after we've let this saute away for 3 to 5 minutes, we're gonna add in a whole 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes and half a teaspoon of salt. A gentle caress. Turn the heat down to medium-low, and we're just gonna let this simmer away while we make our cabbage rolls. Finally, the part I've been most excited and scared for. Let's crack her open. Wow, that smells like sauerkraut. Woo-wee! Pungent, stings the nostrils. Just kind of takes you back for a moment. It's like, who farted? Yep, that's a cabbage, all right. Woo! Well, that's fun. Well, that comes off really easily. That was way easier than I thought it would be. It's like a new hat. Pam says to trim away the outer tough rib, which I guess that just means like this little part. Now we take about a third of a cup of the filling. You plop it in and then you roll. Ooh, okay, like that. Like a little burrito. I did it. That's actually like super easy to do. I'm so impressed with myself. Peel, trim, fill, roll, and repeat. Okay, so we're just gonna remove about half of this tomato and onion sauce from the pot. And I'm just gonna put it in a bowl because we will be using this again shortly. That looks like about half-ish. Incoming cabbage rolls! Then we're just going to take each cabbage roll, seam side down, and just nestle them inside our little pot here. I do not know how I'm gonna fit all of these in here. Okay. This is gonna be like really a tight squeeze. Okay, I think I'm gonna do it, guys. I got one more. There's this little tiny spot right here. Okay. Yes! That was some next level kitchen sorcery to get them all in there. Now we just take our remaining sauce that we just spooned out a moment ago. Just gonna lay it on top, spread it out into a nice little layer of deliciousness. Then we're gonna nestle in between some of the rolls, a couple or a handful of bay leaves. And lastly, we're gonna pour, she says anywhere from 2 to 4 cups of veggie broth. Basically, you just want enough broth that it covers the cabbage rolls, which I would say that looks pretty fine. We're going to cover and let this cook for an hour. All right, people, expectation versus reality. How did I do? She's been cooking here for actually an hour and a half. I didn't mention that, but you cook for an hour covered and half an hour uncovered. And yeah, it's a long process to make these cabbage rolls, but I sure hope it's worth it. Okay, guys, I did it. I can't believe I did it. Took me a really long time and a lot of patience, but I got some cabbage rolls. Entering my mouth hole in 3, 2, 1. Definitely reminiscing right now about sitting at my great-grandma's dining room table in her little apartment as a kid, eating some cabbage rolls. Those are actually really good. And despite them not really having much plant-based protein in them, I definitely think they'll be really filling. There's a lot of rice in there and a lot of veggies, and I could just eat like 2 of them and I'd be like, done. I think next time I make this, and I definitely will be making this again, I'm gonna add some TVP or maybe some, Beyond Beef crumbles, but probably TVP because it's a little bit more whole food. I just dropped my cabbage in the sink. It's been a fun day. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks again, Pamela Anderson, for writing a great cookbook. I hope to make more from this book in the future. If you guys want to see me cook more recipes from Pam's cookbook, let me know in a comment below. Check out some of my other What I Eat in a Day videos right here. I got lots of them on the channel. I love you. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see ya in another video real soon. Bye-bye.